And you guys call me forward.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to the March meeting of the Foundation of Pelican March Board of Directors. Paul, can you call the roll, sir?
Sure, we have Matt Barger, Karen Gilmartin, Steve Burke, Jim Carter, Nathaniel Monks, Margie Cassia, and Pat Kepke present for a full quorum, and notice was posted in accordance with statute.
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept the minutes from the prior meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for.
Yes.
President's report. So you guys are noticing, I'm sure, how busy things are here. Spring, March season is massively busy. And all the amenities are brimming with activity. We have lots of enthusiastic drivers in the community. And I would like to remind them that the stop signs are not a suggestion. You want to pay attention to these. We've seen a couple of near misses in the last week alone, so let's be careful out there. We are approaching our annual meeting, I'm sure you're all aware, a week from today, when we will say goodbye to one of our board members and hello to another. Jim Carter and his wife Jane came to live in Pelican March 20 years ago. Jim was elected to the board of Collier County Commissioners and served at various times as chairman of the following organizations. Board of Collier County Commissioners, Southwest Florida Regional Planning Council, Metropolitan Planning Council, Tourist Development Council. Here at Pelican March, Jim served as vice president and president of Watercrest. Over 2 decades, Jim has served in various roles on the Pelican March Foundation Board of Directors, including secretary, vice president, and president, multiple terms of service. Jim's passion for our community has been evident throughout his years of service. The boards on which he has served have benefited greatly from his leadership, wisdom, grace, and good humor. On a personal note, I would just like to say that I deeply appreciate the time Jim spent with me as I took on the role of president of the Foundation Board. Without his guidance and advice, this job would have been much more difficult. Thank you, Jim. Please join us after the meeting for a little get-together with Jim and his many admirers. Our newest board member will be seated at the annual meeting. Brian Balan lives in Watercrest with his wife Nancy. He's currently the vice president and controller of Lockheed Martin Corporation. He is retiring this year. His strong background in business and finance will be a great help to our community. Finally, Nest has been open for just under 4 weeks and is doing well despite some seriously gnarly labor market issues. Most folks seem pretty happy with the new amenity. As staffing levels normalize, we expect to offer more menu items and to see more regular hours, longer hours open. So I'm just hoping that you guys will be patient, hang in there, try the place out, and enjoy it. Now we're going to have our treasurer's report. And
is this a good or bad time for me to say that I love Jim Carter?
I take that figuratively.
We'll have perhaps what we'll do is we'll allow everyone to have a poke at Jim during the board member and audience member comments.
Excellent, because he's a wonderful guy, and I bet everybody at the table would like to say something about him. Really enjoy working with him. Okay, treasurer's report.
1 second, please.
Brother Paul is going to put this on the screen for us. And as with all treasury reports, anything you don't understand, by all means, find me later. Paul Madry knows everything. And we put this on the website, the Pelican Marsh website, so you always can go and research and click on the numbers and find what you can, find what's not showing on your screen yet. And early in the year, what you're going to find is that, like last year, things are going well for the community financially. Part of the reason is that sales are on budget. Our expenses are over budget right now for this part for the year so far. And part of the reason is that the restaurant did not get to open as scheduled. We had a restaurant, we had employees and what have you, but we didn't have customers for a while, so they allowed us to have customers. Our administrative and operating expenses were over budget due to timing. This is basically based on the fact that we get paychecks every 2 weeks, and some months have more than 2 paychecks in them. The fitness revenues finished higher than budget. People are coming back. People are no longer as worried as they were about COVID, and so now they're coming and taking fitness classes, getting a massage and things like that. So we're actually over budget there. Court sports are over budget also. Lots of people are working from home. We always have an influx of people in the winter. This year is amazing, and part of it is because a lot of people who are still working and normally would not be able to come here for the winter are working from home or telling their boss they're working from home. But I see them on the tennis courts all day. And so we have more people than ever down here. So tennis and pickleball, bocce is very, very active, running above budget. Now you see food and beverage on the screen. We have a loss so far this year, $129,000. And that's because if you have a restaurant and you have 0 customers, you have a loss. In January 1, we had a restaurant and 0 customers. They finally let us open up or almost at the end of February. So we had, 10 days of a restaurant in the first 2 months of expenses. Luckily, things are going good. We have a very good customer base for the restaurant already. And I think we'll constantly see that loss going away as the year progresses. Resale fees are on budget and right as expected, but there's actually way more expected sales that are already done the paperwork. So our sales are going to be over budget. We'll have more income than expected next month, I expect. Next page. Here you see our 3 funds where we keep our money. The operating fund is our day-to-day expenses. This is where your HOA fee goes. And you see our beginning cash. And at the bottom, you see our ending cash because everybody just paid their HOA fees for the whole year. So that shot up. The replacement fund is where we keep our money for replacing items as they wear out. And we have a schedule and what have you. And you can see at the beginning of the year, it was $471,000. It's at $530,000 because we're taking 100% of our income from resale fees and packing it into the replacement fund until our yearly obligation is met. The capital fund is the fund where we spend money to improve Pelican Marsh. Started out the year at $280,000. We're building the restaurant out of that fund, and we're writing a lot of checks for the restaurant and got it finished at the beginning of this year. So you'll see that it decreased drastically, and now we're down to $64,000 at the end of February. And that fund will later in the year get more money after the replacement fund is fully funded, then the resale fees will fund the capital fund. So everything's looking good there. Next screen, please. Here you see our cash coming in and going out. See our revenues, total revenues, $209,000. This is for the January and February combined. Total expenses, $174,000. And the biggest bill we have, the number 1 bill we have is cable. Really, when you pay your HOA fee, almost half of it is cable and almost half of it is everything else. So you see the big cable bill. We have, and now we're going to add the restaurant to that, which will be the nest. What's the next screen?
I think just it.
Is that done? Okay, In January and February combined, even though there was no houses for sale at January 1, we have collected 15 resale fees. Most of them are at the new higher rate. You remember at the end of the year, sort of towards the end of the year, we raised our resale fee. And so you'll see that our resale fee is $76,500 that came in January and February. And we anticipate 75 houses selling this year, 13 have sold, and so we're right on track. That's it.
Alrighty.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you know at this point, or maybe you or Paul can answer, where are we in terms of collecting of all the associations?
Really good. Paul, give us the nitty gritty. It was very good though.
Of the managed associations, they have till the end of this month, actually, to pay us the collection from their members. The 3 associations we have to collect from directly that are not managed, we only have 1 outstanding, which I'm sure we'll get here pretty soon. So overall, we're in really good shape.
All right, thank you. May I have the foundation manager's report, Paul?
Okay, so it's kind of hard to believe already that we're on the tail end of the season already. Speaking to the employees recently, and it's been great to see the community center now active again with many residents out enjoying all our amenities and socializing with their friends and neighbors throughout the campus. It looks like our season-ending party we have scheduled for the end of this month on the 30th is going to be fun as well as busy. The party quickly sold out. We have almost 300 residents attending the party. So for that particular evening, just remember to try to carpool or find alternate modes of transportation to the party that night, because our parking lot will be very full and parking will be limited. And by the way, Nest will be catering the event that night. So we're excited about that. For those of getting ready to head back north in a few weeks, we ask that you please make sure you take all the necessary cleaning and maintenance precautions and procedures on your home before you leave. It's also a good idea to have your home watched by a home watch service or a friend to monitor your home while you're away to prevent those unforeseen issues that may happen, such as plumbing failures that can cause a lot of major damage to your home, if unintended. Our annual meeting next week, again, is next week on Thursday. We still need 60 more proxies to obtain a quorum. So if you have not turned in your proxy for this meeting, please do so as soon as possible. If you need a copy of the proxy to fill out, it's on our website, or you can just call the office or stop by and they'll get you a copy and fill it out in the office. And let's get that quorum so we can have our meeting official for next week. Again, we make sure everyone is, we want to make sure everyone's updated and informed about what's happening in Pelican Marsh. So just make sure we have your current email address on file. You can always see Linda or Monique in the admin office to get this done, and we can get you updated and get you sent out with all the latest and greatest stuff happening in Pelican Marsh. As general manager of Pelican Marsh, I want to make sure all the members and their guests are always having a positive experience when using our amenities and services. If there are any members that have a suggestion or concern they have, I want to know about it. So I encourage you to send me an email to let me know what your concern or suggestion is, and I'll do my best to make sure we can get that done. And I want to encourage everyone to send emails in by, I promise to keep all emails confidential. So it's just between me and you, and I just want to take care of the issue and get it fixed. Lastly, I can't thank our staff this season enough for all they've done, especially this time of year when it's so busy. So again, as you're walking through the campus or the community center and you see them, just say thank you for all you do. They work hard every day to get things done. So we appreciate them a lot. And that's my report.
Thank you, Paul. There being no old business, we're going to move right into it.
Did you say 16 or 60?
Oh, I'm sorry, 6060. So that's,
Thank you.
so.
Substantial number.
Yes.
Quick question, Paul. And has the CDD made a decision on the gatehouses yet? And have they made that, have they made the vote, and will we have renderings for people here who can see what they're doing?
I was told last month they wanted to finalize the construction drawings first with the chosen contractor before they release the renderings of the gatehouses.
I'd heard from Tim Jacobois, who's on the CDD. He lives across from me and next to Steve, that they're switching it up a little bit because the new restaurant over here, that they're going to try to modify it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no other questions for the manager? New business, section 9.1, approval of appointment to tennis advisory committee. As many of you might know, the chairman of the tennis committee resigned, Blue Paper, and of course we need to replace him. And we asked the current members if any of them would like to be chairperson. None of them wanted to do that. So among the applicants to the tennis advisory committee was one applicant who volunteered to be the chairman. This is Ralph Cassia. We are now going to, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve Ralph's appointment and to the tennis committee as member and chairman.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Approval of the design review committee written report. We had one application. It was approved by the design review committee. May I have a motion to accept the written report?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. And now it's time for board members' comments. Would anyone like to say anything?
Is this a good time or a bad time to say why I love Jim Carter?
This is an excellent time.
It's a good thing I'm leaving this board.
I just want to say that I've been on the board for 2 years minus a day or so. And on the first day that I came on the board, the first thing that I did was to encourage Jim Carter to be our president. And he had been thinking he would rather retire. And he came on as our president and did an incredible job. And so for the last 2 years, I worked with him in executive meetings as president, he was vice president. He was there with whatever decisions we made, whatever problems we were passed. And very often be 7 people talking at a board meeting or 4 or 3 people talking at an executive meeting and trying to find an answer. And then Jim at the end of the table would say, well, what we probably should do is this, and be like, wow, okay, that was smart. And so all these years of experience and wisdom, whenever he would pipe up with something, it'd be like the obvious answer. And it was embarrassing, I hadn't thought of it earlier. And it was very much appreciated. It happens all the time. There's a reason why experience is valuable. And Jim Carter's example of that. Really loved working with him and really appreciated his experience and his wisdom day in and day out. So that's why I love Jim Carter.
You're there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been sitting next to Jim for a while, right, Jim? And we don't always agree. That's absolutely true. But he's always respectful. He has always been welcoming, and he has always been fair and thoughtful. And as Nathaniel said, brought a lot of expertise and Pelican Marsh history to serving on the board. And so I have always appreciated sitting next to you, Jim.
Okay. Thank you, my friend.
You know what I so much appreciate is just the knowledge that he has because of the history and how much he has given to this community. That's so important. You're sitting here today, but I expect you to be out there just to correct us.
Okay, Jim, I want to thank you so much for everything you've done, Pelican Marsh. We have not thanked you enough. Everything that you've done to help us, a lot of us newer board members, was essential. And without you, we could not have done it. And honestly, Jim, I wouldn't have wanted to do it without you. You were our backbone that first year, and we really appreciate you. I appreciate you. You brought ideas, you were positive, you let us carry on and with all of our newbie enthusiasm, and you didn't really squelch us too much. But occasionally we needed your wisdom and your guidance to keep us on the right path. We hope this isn't the last we're going to see of you. In fact, we'd be shocked if you weren't a regular member here in the body. And we're counting on it, and we want to say thank you.
Well, thank you. Whether I attend a lot of meetings or not will depend on my better half.
Yes, Jim, I want to thank you also as newer board member. You brought a lot of wisdom and in a very concise manner. I love some of what you have said in your emails.
Yes.
As Nathaniel said, you sum it up so well and respect and always with the best ideas for the entire community. All of our residents appreciate your hard work. So thank you so much and best to you and Jamie.
Thank you. Well, because this is a point where I'm supposed to say something brilliant, but actually I am quite taken back and very appreciative of everything that has been said here this afternoon. I have served on this board primarily because Jane Carter was very supportive of everything that I've done. No board member can sit here unless you got the support of your spouse or friends, because it is a demanding and it is a challenging position to be in. We have lived in Pelican Marsh for 20 years. We've lived in Cuyahoga County for 40 years. So this is very much my home, and I will continue to live in Pelican Marsh as long as I can. It's a great community. I can't think of a better place to live. But I also would say to you that it's not only what goes on inside the gates, it's important what you pay attention to what goes on outside the gates, because there is a lot happening and your community will always be affected by the decisions made by the Board of County Commissioners, which is the governing body of Cuyahoga County. And in fact, this year, our commissioner who served us for 2 terms is retiring, and there will be 7 candidates running for the District 2 Commissioner. And on April 6th, in this room, 1 p.m., we will have a forum, and I'm going to encourage all of you to attend and be aware of who's running and what they can contribute, because your tax dollars out of this district are one of the major contributors to the total budget of Cuyahoga County. So don't take it lightly. This is a municipal government. They have a great deal of effect on your lives. Following that, the next week, the school board, there are 3 positions open in the county. School board members are elected at large, although they run by district. We have 11 candidates running for 3 positions. Kids make up 25% of our population, but they're 100% of our future. So it's up to us, it's up to this community to turn out. You need to vote, you need to understand who's running, because our school board members representing the kids and the parents, or are they kowtowing to the superintendent of schools? That's a question you have to answer. That's a question you need to be informed about. So please attend these forums, because it's one of those outside the gate events that has a great deal of impact on your lives. And to the staff of Pelican Marsh, Paul Madry and Patrick and Johan and Julyn and all the others who have done so much for this community, it has made my job a lot easier to have confident management that you can work with all the time to make Pelican Marsh absolutely the best community in the greater Naples area. So thank you all, God bless, and just keep enjoying and living and having a wonderful time in Pelican Marsh. Thank you.
And now the appreciation of the board of directors, we would like to recognize you with a little gift certificate
Thank you, sir.
to the pro shop so you can get your pickleball gear.
I think I'm beyond pickleball, but I could use some new tennis gear.
And now let's open the floor to resident comments.
My name is Pete Kenny. And I'll tell you.
Pete, would you want to come up here?
I can keep my voice up.
Okay.
Okay. My first comments will be directed to the entire board, including you. I would like to thank each and every one of you for people who volunteer your time. The pay for this position isn't enough, what you give. And we get a great result from you, so thank you for your attention to your duties. Jim and I became friends through tennis, and I'm not a regular attendant of the board. I know he did a good job, because, haven't heard the complaints. Not a good job here, doing a good job, nobody knows. But I'll tell you a little secret about you that hasn't been mentioned. And I echo every comment that was made except the fact that I like Jim and I respect him, no love affair. But you didn't ruin it. Jim's a Republican, and I'm a Republican. And we both came from areas where Republicans are endangered species. And we lighted in Collier County and found a home where Republicans are the local blacks. And he got me involved in men's Collier County Republicans Men's Club about 13 years ago. And together, we're both on the board now, together, we went from about 35 members with about 15 to 20 people attending our monthly meetings to over 200 members and between 70 and 100. He is experienced, but he's also a worker. He has ideas, but he follows through and carries out. And it's all attributable to him, he wrote. We have fine speakers, we have great results. I can say a lot of other things. I don't want to take up everybody's time. So, Jim, thank you. I wish you well. I wanted to come and publicly acknowledge your service. Thank you for it. Fine job.
Judge, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. Anyone else?
I'm Rich Fetterman, I live in Deerfield, not too far from that. See him across the way. Jim, let's look around outside. It's really your backyard that you built. Your vision, your ideas, your encouragement. It's just amazing what's happening. I'm so happy that the food business is actually in place and working. Wonderful. We talked about it years ago. Jim is a phenomenal mentor. He's a mentor to me. He encouraged me to work on committees. I joined the board here for, I guess, about 4 years, and I just enjoyed it. You're a wonderful man. You're a great person to work with, to work for. I would do anything to help you do whatever you want to do. Next part of your life. Jane as well. You really supported him. You could do so much for us. Now I'm going to make one more comment. I look around and who here is wearing a sport jacket and tie? Who here has a lot of class? And I haven't thought about this yet, but today is St. Patty's Day. I wonder if there's something in karma out there that this is your last board meeting.
Thanks, Rich. That's awesome.
Jane Carter.
My name is Jane Carter. I'm working here on the Missouri. I want to read something from our son, one of our sons, wanted to read this. It's all right. If it's not. His name is Todd Carter. It brings me great pleasure to hear my father is being recognized for his years of service on the board of March Foundation. He pours his heart and soul into everything he does. There is deeply for his family and community. He has been my role model. I'm sorry, he's jumping. He's been my role model from the start. His selfishness and sacrifices he made to ensure that his family was taken care of. How he treated others, the desire to leave things better than when he found them. He is the man who would rearrange his work schedule so we could attend my sporting events and playoff games. The man who knew I was into fitness and sports, read books on nutrition, and would wait and prepare breakfast every morning to ensure I was fueled for the day's activities. I have nothing to student. A man who delivered the tough love and commentary, knowing it was uncomfortable, but knew it had to be done. He is the man who shaped me and the man I am today. Doing the right thing isn't easy, but thank God we have men like my father, who has always worked to do what was right, executed the task as a gentleman, and hopefully left things better than when he found it. Very proud of you, Dad. John Boyd. Todd Carter, Principal, Officer of Executive. Excellence. So, thank you very much for listening. I will go along with County President for Southwest Florida. We will be both founding members of the Press Club, so we've been on a lot of activities throughout. Thank you.
And thank you.
Anyone else? All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Please feel free to stay for some snacks.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you.